Oh boy. So listen, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting how some things seem to be coming full circle very fast right before our very eyes. And some other things, I just don't know. It just kind of just is what it is. It's just, what are we even actually doing here? Contessa, all I can say is Contessa, Contessa, Contessa. Contessa, baby. Oh, anyway, listen, we're going to talk about all of it. Let's go on into this. This is Married to Medicine, y'all. Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for clicking on this video. This is going to be my review for Married to Medicine. This is season 12, episode 3. And like I said, there's a lot of things that's actually kind of in the works. We know last week, Quad and Simone kind of patch things up. And I already said, now, I done tugged at their wigs a little bit. And I'm like, don't start this mess now. Do not start this mess. Y'all either going to be getting along or y'all not going to be getting along. But we're not going to play back and forth with y'all. And then y'all fall out and that be the storyline. We ain't doing all that. But I think they are getting ready to come full circle back to where they were a couple years ago. Kind of interesting. Do I trust it? I don't know. But anyway, but the biggest thing in this episode that I kind of saw, now I had stated that Contessa, I don't know why Contessa's here. Because Contessa kind of seems like it's nothing really going on that's new or interesting. She's just kind of here, and it's just kind of like we're just used to you being here, so you're here. But I don't know. And what you are here for, I don't know if you're going to ruin yourself. You may actually ruin what you built here, because in this episode, I have to say, you came across really irritating, and then you also came across a bit unlikable. I was like, wow, Contessa, nasty. All the things that you have claimed that other people have done and what they bring, you were that on steroids. Like, those ladies sat around that table and looked at you like, is she serious right now? You were nasty. We're going to talk about it. So listen, the whole thing, this is all about Contessa's birthday. Contessa had her birthday. This is her first birthday party. We leading right out. Scott definitely getting the bad press. So from the door, Scott, tires on the bus, you underneath. Yeah. It's her 40th birthday, or she's going into 50. She's leaving her 40s. And she's leaving her fifth, her 30s, going into 40s. I think is what it was. I don't think she's 50. I think she's going into her 40s. However, yes, her 40th birthday, I think it was. Either way, a mess. She never had a birthday party before. She's doing the party herself. She's planning it herself. She's paying for it herself. This, that, thing, the other. Okay, so she's 49, so she is going into the 50s. Okay, she's going into the 50s. I didn't think she was that close to my age. But okay, so she's going into the 50s. But planning it herself, paying for it herself, handling it herself. Okay. All right. Cool. Why was it necessary to say all these things? I don't know. But I know the first thing I saw Contessa and Toya going, and Toya was already anticipating drama. So it's like, girl, you are really, Toya, you got your whole Sheree Whitfield thing going on. You like, there's going to be drama, because if there's none, I'm going to stir it up. Yeah, period. Hey, Nisa, so if it ain't, yeah, if there's no drama, baby, I'm gonna go find some and I'm gonna bring it. It just that's what I got from Toya. I said, "Ooh, Toya, you got a mess going on. You got a mess going on, Toya." But okay, whatever you want to do. She's given all this information. Then she's talking about her budget is $40,000, and it's going to be a players' ball. So I looked at the outfit that Contessa had on, and I said, "So this is your new thing. You like to troll us with your clothing. Like I think you put on bullshit just so we could talk about it. I think it's kind of how Nene used to troll us with them wigs. Like every wig was worse than the last wig. She did that for like a season or two. It was crazy. And I feel like that's what Contessa's doing. Like you have to know that these outfits are ridiculous. These sequin jumpsuits and all that. And I get it. It was going along with the party and all that. But it didn't even look nice on her. It was just like, the hell is this going on? And it was given, watch out, fool, back off, sucker. It was all that. So I guess it was supposed to go along with the yeah, I guess it was supposed to go along with the theme of the party or whatever. So I said, girl, okay, whatever. That's fine, baby. Whatever. Just a mess. Okay. So that was that whole thing. Toya, you're coming across as a hater. She got the money to spend 40 grand on her party. Whatever. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? There's times when all of y'all throw money away. So what? You do it all the time. You literally gave a party for a freaking purse last season. So you looked crazy to me saying anything to her about her party and what she wanted to spend on her party. I was just like, girl, shut up. Shut up. Nobody cares what you're talking about. It is what it is. Just hush. Just hush. So just hush. Hush. I was done with that. So that was that whole thing. Then we go over to Quad's house. We didn't spend very much time over at Quad's. You know, it's her and King. Nothing really to see here. She's going to do IVF. She's going to Ghana to do it. Dr. Jackie's going to handle things for her on this side of things. And then she will, deal with doctors in Ghana, for, I guess, the major stuff. So she's taking these shots and getting everything ready for them to retract the eggs and all of that stuff. So we kind of ran through that. We've seen this process on some other shows with women who have actually did it. So I mean, you want to do it. I'm excited for you. This is something that is kind of odd to me. Now, Miss Quad, you got it. I got a question. Are you not planning on marrying King? Is that like not an option? Are you all like not wanting to marry one another or any of that? Is that why we're doing like the baby thing? Not that it's a big deal. It's 2025. But I mean, we're doing all of this. We're doing all this for TV and all of this kind of thing. And y'all talk about living with one. Y'all talk about everything except for marriage. Y'all are talking about everything except for marriage. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say the name of the show is Married to Medicine. So you're doing everything but the marriage. Is it that you is that not on the table? Is that not? It was kind of different. It just sounded different. Like maybe you just ain't considering it, or I don't know. Just seems out of sync. But whatever. I just want you to be happy. Be happy doing whatever you're doing. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, girl, what is this backwards ass shit you doing, honey? And that's what it is. It looks crazy and backwards. Move in together, have a baby. We fighting about whether or not we're going to move in together. We having a baby. I mean, we're going so far out to have a baby. Like the baby is commitment enough, but like literally we're like battling to have a baby. We're, going through medical procedures to bring this baby here and all of this. Do we not think enough of each other to create a union? I don't know. That's so weird to me, especially with her being who she is. When we met you, you were married. So we know you believe in the sanctity of marriage because you were in it. You were in it. When we met you, you were married. So shine a little light on that, sister. It is what it is. So I did have to laugh, and I was laughing at you. I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I was laughing at you, because I always laugh at her for the exact same reason. When she said, King was saying to Quad, you and these treatments, girl, you be driving me nuts, basically, and your moods be all over the place. Well, isn't that Quad, right? That's Quad. Okay, so I wasn't surprised at all at the fact, because she said, I be crying. It make me cry. I said, no. So as soon as she said it, I sat right here and started laughing. And I said, this is my life. Listen, I don't give a damn. That will never not be funny. It will never not be funny. That truly, and I felt for her in the moment that happened, but that was so classic Quad. I'll never forget it. It will never not be funny. And I don't know, it just came to me in that moment, and I was sitting right here on the end of the couch. As soon as she said, I don't know, just for some reason I'll be crying. And I literally sat up on the side of the couch and said, this is not a show. This is my life. And bust out laughing. Girl, I love you, Miss Quad, but girl, that will never not be funny to me at all. So no, I'm not surprised that it triggers her emotions and make her cry. Remember, shit, you was crying last week. You and Simone, y'all was crying y'all's ass off. Y'all dragged me in. You're trying to make me cry. I said, both of y'all. Anyway, so a hot mess. So that's what they got going on over there at the place with the Quad and the King, honey. Move right along. So next, I seen a big warning sign. I said, Miss Brandy, girl, you're new to the show, okay? Miss Brandy, you're new to the show, and I said, girl, you get ready to be brought in a mighty way. I promise you, Miss Brandy, you better tread lightly. Girl, you hanging out with Contessa. I sat on that same edge of the couch where I was laughing at Quad, and I said, do it, Brandy, don't do it. I said, girl, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. This is exactly how everything got started with her and Heavenly. She's sitting there. She's telling you all this mess. She's fussing to you about Scott and what they got going on. And Brandy, you done got so involved in it that you get talking about you going to go talk to Scott. Let me tell you something. I don't want to hear no bullshit about people who come onto this show late in the game that they ain't watched the seasons previous. They did. You watched it, and you all are smart girls. So I know none of you all are dumb enough to not study the lay of the land before you got here. And I'm telling you, sister, this is how it all started with her and Heavenly. I seen it. I even wrote down on my notes, no, and a bunch of exclamation points, because, girl, this is how it all started with her and Heavenly. Girl, the way you be a friend to Contessa, you just let Contessa talk. You let Contessa talk. You let Contessa wear ridiculous outfits, and you don't say anything. You let G.I. Jane be G.I. Jane, and you let her fuss, and you just shake your head and nod your head and say, girl, I know. We all got a friend like that. We all got a friend like that. And then at a point, the bitch gets on your nerves. And you be like, oh, here we go with this hell again. And then they start, and then you don't even say, girl, I know no more. They start talking and you do this to them. And that's it. That's really all it requires. If you don't want problems, if you don't want drama, you get to the point, you don't say nothing no more. You just say, and she gets what she needs. You got what you need. And you ain't got no problems. So that's where we were. We're going to put a pin in that and we're going to revisit it, okay? Move right along. So here we go with the party. So we get to the party. First of all, Dr. Damon, why you show up giving killjoy at the party? And I said, that, you know, Damon's always running in from work or something. And I'm like, here he comes. Why he look like he working the event? I said, okay, he must be working or whatever. And then Heavenly says, you know, I should have really got him a costume or whatever. And then he gets to tell me how he wasn't going to put it on. So Damon, listen, it's okay to just sit it out. Just sit it out because you really look so out of place. You look so out of place. You look so not fun. Like everybody was in a fun mood because the party's ridiculous itself. You know, anything that's given the 70s and it is ridiculous. And it's over the top ridiculousness because the 70s was funny. I don't care how you look at it, what angle you look at the 70s. The clothing and the behaviors and the verbiage from the 70s is hilarious. Hooker, jive, turkey. All that shit is ridiculous. I don't know how we made it 10 years doing that corny shit. Like the whole era of the 70s is literally like it's one big blaxploitation film. The word blaxploitation is just ridiculous. The soundtrack to the 70s is everything about the 70s is ridiculous except for me because I was born in the 70s. Catch. I'm the only thing that wasn't ridiculous. And truth be told, sometimes my goddamn ass is ridiculous. Okay. The 70s was some bullshit. Okay. So it is what it is. When we revisit it, it is fun. It is funny. It is a period of time where I think Black people really, we enjoyed ourselves and we look back at the 70s and just laugh at what it was. Women, for the most part, unless you were a performer, you were always overdressed. The women, that was the era of women wearing like badass suits and like fitted suits and three-piece. They would wear the vest. Women were very covered up in the 70s for the most part, unless you were an entertainer or a whore. Come on now. And see, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a 70s baby. If you were an entertainer, you wore some badass gowns in the 70s. They had some gowns in the 70s that was all right. Or if, you know, so they were kind of, you know, scantily clad. Or if you were a whore, you know, you were doing the most. But for the most part, women were covered up. Men, y'all talk about the men now and their little skinny jeans and all their little flamboyant ways. Men in the 70s were all big old butch queens, honey. All the men in the 70s was giving butch queens, honey. Their pants were so tight that they could hardly zip them up. Wasn't nobody worried about nobody staring at their print, staring at their butts, or none of that in the 70s. Not the men, because all the men was wearing jumpsuits and tight ass jeans and slap. All the men dressed like women, and the women were covered up. The men was wearing high heel shoes. They was wearing hat. You always was seeing men running around in crop tops, not women, men and crop tops. Everything was cut off and their bellies was always exposed. Honey, what? It was not fashionable to be no fat bitch in the 70s as a man. In the 70s, the boys was stacked, baby. They was snatched. That girls, small waist, big asses. That was the men in the 70s. Now, y'all go back. Go look it up on your Google if you wasn't here. Go look it up. Cat suits, thigh-high boots. And if you were an entertainer, it was even worse. Male entertainers were definitely the cunt of the month. Yes, they were. A hot mess. And none of that stuff came into play. Right now, people be acting so crazy, honey. If your socks stay up on your leg, they'd be like, he gay. Look how tight them socks is. It is so weird. It is so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. But I think that we look back at the 70s and we just get a kiki at how ridiculous we were and how everything was turned on its side in the 70s. It was just a fun period of time. Okay, so that's that. Jive turkeys. Anyway, so this is what she did with this party. Now, Contessa pretty much dressed like the 70s, period. Every day, except for when she goes to work. That's the only time she be looking like normal people when she go to work, when she put on her scrubs. Because other than that, Contessa be like, I'm going in here and I'm going to put on the most ridiculous outfit. Sometimes the outfit and some of the pieces be nice, but they just be out of place. You know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon is not time for a fully fringed jumpsuit. Like, where the fuck is you going? They're going out to eat lunch. We're going to a crab boil. She's showing up in an evening gown. Like, girl, what is you doing? Clowning. And I think she just be trolling us. But for this party, did y'all catch what she did? And then Toya actually called her out on it. She did. I said something before the commercial break. I was like, why you clown all your friends like that? Why did you clown all your friends? It is a player's ball, so you know that's the most ridiculous. So everybody's dressed as pimps and hoes. Pimps and hoes. Why Contessa do one costume change? But Contessa looks nicer at that party than she's looked at any of the seasons, at any of the reunions. She did, when I say Contessa came out and did her big one, this hoe showed up as Diana Ross. She showed up as Diana Ross, Supreme's version of Diana Ross. That hoe had an old nasty piece of flip. The wig wasn't all greasy and fucked up. She was done with a fur wrap and a lovely gown, silver, clean as hell. I said, Contessa looked better on her entrance at the party than she's ever looked at any of the reunions that she's been on. I said, oh, wow. Then she turned around and did a costume change, and the bitch came back as Cher. Did y'all catch it? Did y'all catch it? Had done the little, you know, the little rhinestones. That's the Bob Mackie. That was the Bob Mackie version of shit. Lovely gown. Lovely gown. Now I got the wig. Wig was a little greasy. The wig wasn't the best, but it's better than a lot of that shit you wear. I was like, wow. But yeah, she literally gave you the vision of Ross with the Supremes first, and she came back and gave you Black Cher, honey. And I was here for it. But when you looked at everybody else looked like Truck Turner and the Hose. I eased over to the end of the couch and I start laughing. I start laughing again. As soon as I see them coming in, their little outfit was like, get over there, you block. I start reciting lines from Chuck Turner. I did. I really did. I kept waiting on. I was waiting on Contessa to the when she came to the table and they was all sitting around there and they was talking. I was waiting on her to literally start doing Nichelle Nichols, her role, her lines from Chuck Turner, because she was like, "Wait a minute, that damn Toya started at the mess, start shading Scott and put him on blast. Why did Scott feel the need?" I said, "Scott, you are an idiot. You're an idiot, and you don't really get the bad edit. You just are bad, Scott. Like you're a goon, and you had to be seen. You had to be seen. You up there talking like you really did something, and you don't really realize that your wife done walked around and told everybody that you ain't did shit. She done gave all her grievances to everybody around, and now you're being put on the spot by that damn messy ass Toya." I said, oh, okay. And when they were all sitting around talking, you could tell that because she was trying to handle it, she handled it better than she usually does. But she was like, "Y'all not gonna take my joy, baby. I'm in my lovely sheer gown, honey, and you're not get ready to get me, honey. I'm wearing this shit, and I know it's not gonna happen. It is really not gonna happen. I'm not going. I'm not going. That's just the way it is." And Heavenly sat there. Heavenly was like, "Nope, I ain't saying nothing." Said, "Good job, Heavenly. Sit over there and shut up because you already know how this works. Hush your mouth and don't say nothing." The rest of them was just talking, and her feelings got hurt. And I sat there and I wrote right on my notes. I said, "It's your fault, Contessa. You did this. You told all this business. You gave your like you always do. It then got to the point where it's just, oh, you just do this. You give all your gripes. Then when they say something about it, then you get an attitude. Girl, shut up. Shut up. It really is all your fault. But just hush." But I literally was waiting on her to start quoting lines from Chuck Turner because she had all the friends looking ridiculous. She did. She put all y'all in the trick bag. She had y'all dressed as the clowns, and she dressed as the 70s diva. I said, okay. Shouldn't take that goddamn jacket off. I was tickled. Moving right along. Next thing we do is we go over to visit Michael and Miles. Simone and Cecil go over there to sit with Michael and Miles. You know what? In this moment, I hate that Simone shares this because we don't want to talk about your children. Yeah, they're like our kids. They're like they're the reality TV kids. They're our kids. So we don't want to report on the kids. And we don't want to talk about kids. We don't want to talk badly about the kids. But Michael, your mother was absolutely correct. And the one thing that she didn't do that she should have did is she should have popped you in your damn mouth talking to her like that. She should have popped you in the mouth. She should have popped your daddy in the mouth. And she should have took Miles and went back and sat down. Michael, you are a brat. You are a brat. You out of order. I literally, she went the fuck off, okay? You like only Simone can. And I cannot sit here and tell y'all that I disagree. I don't disagree with one word that Simone said. She needed to cuss Michael's ass out. 60 grand on a damn card, and you looking at me stupid, and you don't really know what you bought, and all that. Did you see the trouble that Wendy Williams' son got into and what he had to go through for this same bullshit that you basically did? You just frivolously ran through $60,000 with about nothing. Now, part of that is your fault too, because you could have cut it, Simone. Y'all could have cut it before it even got there. You know, they're spoiled because you spoiled them. They're spoiled because you spoiled them. But at the end of the day, this is real life. And they need to understand that even steel wears out. Old bridges fall right out of the sky. They do. Keep going over it, going over it, going over it, going over it. You don't keep it up, the bridge will fall at some point. Steel wears out. So no, I really didn't have a problem with a damn thing she said. And then the fact that Cecil opened up his goofy ass mouth and start trying to justify. Cecil, you know I love you, but Simone should have pimp slapped you. She really should have. She should have pimp slapped you. It was just ridiculous. All of that was ridiculous. All of it was ridiculous. Now, I wasn't ready for what ended up happening later. I wasn't. I knew she was mad. She was mad as hell. And I was like, I feel you. I feel you. She went out. We left. I hated that they even publicized this. I really do. I hated that they even went there or that she even shared that. But that's real life. Welcome to reality TV. They gave you a bit of reality. And that's what they have. She's painted her boys in a bad light. And we just be ignoring it because, again, we don't want to talk badly about them because they're like our kids. We don't want to talk badly about them at all. So I'm going to move on, and that's that. Now we're going to go over here. Now, Brandy had a little birthday dinner. I said, oh, what is this? So Brandy's husband actually, just sent a card and go ahead and have this little dinner party with your little friends for your birthday. I got the kids, and that was cute. That was very cute. Heavenly, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, Heavenly. You could not resist. You could not resist talking smack. Now, the other day, you did good by just hushing with the Contessa stuff. But you just could not resist. I said, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to be in trouble again. You'll be in trouble again. Mm-hmm. And y'all see they tried to do a real quick cleanup of the stuff with Curtis or whatever. Y'all made a big deal about the Curtis stuff and y'all tried to really put a nice little bow on it. And it was cheesy. That was cheesy. That shit is a problem. It's a problem. It's an issue and it will arise again. It'll arise again. It wasn't fixed. It wasn't. That'll arise again. I like how y'all try to put that little bow on it, but we seen y'all. We're going to move on past it, but y'all full of shit with that. Okay? So we're just going to move it along. We'll move it along. You are very welcome, my dear. Very welcome. I was excited that you even chose. Let me put this on the screen. People are like, what the hell are you talking about? I was excited that you actually chose my recipe from off my little, are you hungry? Off my channel, and that you did it and you trusted me to actually do that for your family. So I appreciate it. Mwah! Happy holidays to you, my love. Glad to hear it. So it was like, okay, just hush, Heavenly. We're going to move past that little Curtis thing. Now, that's fine. No problem. Whatever. Contessa. Now, I know you did what you were supposed to do at your party. You didn't allow anybody to steal your joy. You dealt with your party. You had a good time. You rolled past their bullshit and their judgment and all of that because it was all really your fault anyway. So you did a good job with that. But Contessa, your ass was dead wrong to come there and you still got an attitude and you're going to take and really steal the moment. And not only steal the moment, you were so completely disrespectful to that woman about what her husband did for her. Your ass was jealous. You were jealous and you felt a kind of way. So you're going to play this little money game. You're going to play this little money game and literally downplay what she's done and what her husband. It was just so offensive to me I was like, girl, I'm gonna tell y'all this. This Brandy broad, I don't know her. I don't know Brandy. I don't know Brandy. But Brandy, girl, they breaking you in like an old bed wench, honey. They really are. It's horrible. Like what Jackie did to you in the first episode, horrible. And this stuff that Contessa did to you right here, horrible. It was, you know, that secondhand embarrassment when it kicks in. I'm like, oh, you could see it all around the table. All the ladies was like, oh, Contessa, no. Contessa, no. It was bad. I felt like what went on at that table was just as bad as when Quad was asked to leave the vacation. I thought it ranked right up there with it. I said, wow, like I did not expect that. That was just downright nasty. Brandy is a trooper because I'd put Contessa out. I wouldn't have asked Contessa to leave. I would have demanded that Contessa leave. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'd have called her a boatload of bitches and a croaker sack on her way out. I'd have put her out of my party. That hoe would not have sat there. And when she pulled that money out, as if like they didn't have it. This is in a strip mall. I mean, that was horrible. That was really horrible. And then for you to sit your ass up there like what you did, girl, you couldn't ever speak to me again. You would have never wanted to speak to me again, Miss Thing, because I would have ate you, Miss Thing. I would have ate you. I really would have. I'd have ate her at that table, Miss Thing. You'd have wanted to fight me, Jane. You'd have been ready to go up on the roof and snipe me out, girl, because I would have embarrassed you. I would have read you. I'd have read your husband. Girl, I would have broke you down to the lowest common denominator because your situation and your union is coming across looking like nothing. All due to what you bring to the table and talk about your girl. I ain't got to tell you this. We already told you this, Contessa. You ain't learned nothing. You come right back here with the same old bullshit. And Brandy, goddamn it, I told you to just halt. Don't get into that with her. But now you see her. Now you see her. Deal with her accordingly. But Contessa, completely out of order. Toya jumped in, and then it was Toya versus Contessa, and it got just as nasty. It got just as nasty. And I kind of laughed because I was like, Toya, do you really like Brandy? Or was it just the argument that you was looking for because you just been unhappy for the last couple seasons and you've been looking to get into it with somebody? So was you happy, Toya? You was laying waiting. Toya jumped in and was like, bitch, I said, look at you. You was laying waiting. You was like, girl, you was giving Luther, honey. Give me the reason. You was waiting on some action. But they got into it and then they squashed it real fast. But nobody looked around there and you didn't even apologize to Brandy. You ruined Brandy's birthday. You stole her moment. You treated her like shit. I was like, Contessa, you right now, very uncomfortable, very unlikable. Very unlikable. Heavenly started to say something and they shut her up real fast. They put her back in. Just shut up. She shut up. Because she was getting ready to get started over there. Because, I mean, it really, and she wasn't going to fight with Contessa, but she was just, you know, all the ladies they were like, no, Contessa. They saw it was too much. And you could see in Brandy's face, because she even tried to like dial it back. Well, let's bring it down. I was like, no, this is time to start cussing. This is when you do your big one. Cuss her out. Cuss her out. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pull a Selena Johnson. I know you're not talking SpongeBob. You was. That's where you were supposed to go. That's where you're supposed to go. Or pull a Lisa. Pull it. Oh, never mind. Okay. Never mind. Y'all remember when Lisa snapped out on Quad? when Lisa, Lisa took a lot of shit and they went back and forth and all that. And then when Lisa really got her gumption and she threw all that goddamn drinking shit on Quad and said all that shit, that it was supposed to be like that. That was supposed to, I know you watched the show, Brandy. That's where you were supposed to do your big one. Throw a glass at her or something. That's when you were supposed to really do it at. That was your moment. You missed it. Too late. You missed it. Anyway, then they start talking and they're talking about marriage and this, that, thing, and the other. And then Quad said, well, who at the table really? I mean, everybody at the table, is happily married except for me. I'm the only one that don't, ain't married, ain't trying to be married, this, that, and the other. And Simone said, well, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean you're the only person at the table who don't want to be married? You don't know the half of it. I said, and Quad jumped in, and right there in a split second, I saw the old Quad and the old Simone. Because that was the Quad and Simone when they used to be good Judies. Where Quad said, no, Simone. No, Simone. She's telling her, don't do that. Don't say that. Like, that was genuine. That was genuine, Miss Quad. Like, I know damn well you're not telling me that you and Cecil get ready to go down this road again, because we already went down that road with y'all, and we ain't even trying to entertain that bullshit again. That was the true Quad Simone friendship. Showed. That's why I said, oh damn, we didn't got back there. But that's because they never really left there. They just be feuding with each other. They just dysfunctional sisters. That's all. I was like, wow. But I was shocked to hear her say that. I knew she was very, very angry and upset when she was over at the boys' house, but I didn't know. I never thought that she was really that upset. I really didn't. And she told her, you have no fucking idea. And then that's it for the show. Okay, that's it for the show. Let me jump into real time. Okay, which is something I don't usually do, but we get ready to do it tonight. I watched What's Happening live with Bravo Andy over there, and Simone was on the show, and she had Michael on the show too. So Michael's still, living in the clouds and that kind of thing. But they asked her about the stuff with her and Cecil. And she's like, well, why would you ask me that? And he's like, I hate to even ask you it because your son is here, but I got to do it. And she answered the question. She answered the question. She didn't go deep into nothing, but I got the feel Cecil and Simone ain't all right. Cecil and Simone ain't all right. Simone is up to here with the bullshit. And I looked over there and Michael was covering his face, looked like he's ready to cry. And that was in real time. I hate that for them. I really, because I love me some Cecil and Simone. Always have. And when they were really going through it, I didn't like that at all. I hate this for them. So that's that. I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't usually play around with them in real time. But yeah, I had to add that in there because I seen that tonight on the show. I was like, wow. So they really, because it's been months since they filmed that. They still at it like that. Yeah. So I think that I think that the Quad and Simone thing, I don't think they're going to be on the odds because they're going to need each other again real quick. And there's some more stuff coming down the line. I think they're going to need their bond that they used to have. They're going to need it. So I think that they going to stick together this time for a little bit, if not period. All right. Anyway, that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more for this. I didn't intend to talk this long, but I did it. What about it? Welcome to SpillitBoyTV. Anyway, I love y'all for real. I will see you all later. I'll see y'all later next Sunday. We are fast approaching Christmas, y'all. Are y'all ready? Are you all ready for Christmas? Listen, I know I'm loving this holiday season. If you've been on any of my other social media, you see I'm having myself a good time running through these streets, honey. It is seasons greetings and seasons beatings, honey. I'm having myself a good old time. So listen, I hope your holiday season is going its best as well. I'll see you all next Sunday. Same bat channel. Probably not the same bat time, but definitely same bat channel. I love y'all. Mwah. I'll see y'all later. Bye.